The Ricoh Stadium in the Midlands is once again home to the Champion of Champions tournament. 16 of the world's very best players, all of whom have qualified through success in ranking events. World champions, from the senior title holder to the current champion. Tour title holders and the defending champion are all in the lineup. In the field of 16, Shaun Murphy is back to defend his title. He's made a winning start against Jimmy Robertson. Amongst the others, there are plenty of household names: Mark Selby, Neil Robertson, Ronnie O'Sullivan, John Higgins, Mark Williams and Judd Trump. The field of 16 is divided up into 4 groups. Each group plays down to a winner, then on to the semi-finals, and then a best of 19 frame final. One match into this tournament and Shaun Murphy maintained his winning sequence against Jimmy Robertson. 4-2 the score. Murphy now through to the playoff and due to meet the winner of our next match between Ding Junhui and Michael Georgiou. It's played over the best of 7 frames. The form points to Ding in every department. They've met on 3 separate occasions, Ding winning all 3. Georgiou, ranked 50th in the world, has it all to do. We pick up the action in the first frame, Ding at the table. Commentary from David Hendon and Stephen Hendry.
Again, it's another one of these half chances. He's got a red to the right corner.
Yeah, it's one of the biggest matches he's ever played, simple as that. So a few nerves early on are inevitable, but as I say, it's only best of 7. He's going to have to settle soon. They have played 3 times before. It's 3-0 to Ding. Last meeting in Beijing at the China Open last season. Well, that's got to make him feel good.
Yeah, fabulous pot this. Nice control of the cue ball. Touch a right hand side, check side, just to kill the pace of the cue ball off the side cushion. And he played that well as well. He had an angle there that if he hit that too hard, he would actually lose the cue ball because these cloths are so reactive.
8.
But he controlled that nicely. What an opportunity to win this first frame. As I said, you feel he has to take these opportunities if he's going to have any chance today.
Michael Georgiou was originally relegated after 1 year on the tour. He didn't win a single match.
16.
And didn't play again for 5 years. He was working for a recruitment company. He described the job as
17.
sitting behind a computer 8 hours a day, hating your boss. And he came back to snooker under the Barry Hearn era, got himself back on the tour. And now he's won a tournament.
Yeah, I suppose a professional snooker player, the only person you can hate is yourself if you start missing shots and playing badly.
24.
There's certainly no one else you can blame if anything goes wrong.
25.
This table does look very fast. You He's just lost that cue ball by literally a couple of inches to be perfect on this blue. May have to go into them. Now, what was he on? That was the only problem with that shot. He had to concentrate so hard getting into the cue ball so much to avoid the cannon on the reds. Getting the pace was going to be difficult. Yeah, recovered well.
31.
And maybe a red. There's 2 reds touching below the pink spot. The bottom one may go to the left corner. Another nicely played shot. He looks pretty composed at the moment, Michael Georgiou.
35. $36.
No, some sort of cannon needed here possibly. He's not got the best angle in the black, just off straight. I wonder if that bottom red goes that I mentioned. Now he's played the cannon and he's played it perfectly. He'd be very disappointed if he doesn't win the frame from here.
43. $44. $51. $52.
He plays so much of his snooker on the back tables, as it were, out of the limelight. But he looks really comfortable here. If he can just close this out now.
Yeah, we mentioned, well, I mentioned how good Ding Junhui's cue ball control is. That apart from that one shot in the blue when he had to cut a pretty thin red in, he's been in total control of this break. If this was Ding Junhui doing this, I'd be raving about it. Fabulous start to this match.
Yeah, Ding needs a snooker. He was in early on, but lost his
67.
way. I think this was all about how Georgiou would settle today, and he settled
68.
straight away, it would seem. So we've got a match on our hands here. Ding's a big favourite, but not a certainty by any means. Georgiou knows that he's earned his place in this tournament.
$75.
And if you could start with a century, that really
76.
is laying down a marker. Well, he's not done that. He's missed the black on 76. It'd be disappointing, but it's still a good start for Michael Georgiou. First to 4 to play Shaun Murphy in the quarterfinals, and he leads Ding Junhui here in Coventry by 1 frame to 0.
Welcome back to Coventry and the opening exchanges in the 2018 Champion of Champions tournament. It's Group 1 action featuring Ding Junhui and Michael Georgiou. Georgiou took the opening frame, Ding levelled through the second. This is now the third. Commentary from David Hendon and Stephen Hendry.
See, that red's covered by the green. One thing about Georgiou, you can't accuse him of shirking the practice. He practices at Legends Academy in Leytonstone. He says he gets there at 10 in the morning and leaves at 9 at night, 6 days a week. And Sunday's off.
Are you sure your phones are switched off, please?
Well, he was a heavy favourite to pot that, you've got to say. Hand on the table, but didn't pot it. It's the second miss with the rest of that pocket. Of course, he missed a blue in the last frame, which set up Ding's chance to make the winning break.
One.
Michael Georgiou a bit disappointed he's let this match slip. Obviously, it's still only 1-1, but he won the first frame impressively. The second frame had 2 or 3 decent chances, and now he's gone back to looking just a little bit tentative. You've got to be on it
6.
from the first shot to the last.
Seven.
Ding Junhui was introduced to snooker by his father, who used to play on an outside
14.
table with his friends. And Ding showed an interest. His father took him round China, getting the best coaching.
15.
And of course, he made a sensational breakthrough at the China Open 2005 in Beijing, won the tournament and sparked the snooker boom in China that the players are now enjoying the fruits of.
$22. $23.
Ding will go into the bunch here from the black, and he can play it in such a way as to leave that open red to the left corner.
It's funny how things have changed though. Some of the old British players used to bunk off school to play snooker. In China, it's on the school curriculum in certain schools.
So what did they do? Did they bunk off snooker to do algebra?
31.
Quite possibly. Yeah, he's a very significant figure though in modern snooker's development. Ding, a little bit like Alex Higgins in the UK in the early 70s when he won the world title at his first attempt. And the excitement that he generated, it's happened in China with this man.
Yeah, that final you mentioned, obviously it was very good of you. He beat me in that final in the China Open 2005. But to this day, when I go to China, people still ask, did I let Ding win so that we could progress snooker in China? But of course, I didn't. It's the last thing I would do.
I was going to say they don't know you very well if they're asking you that.
Exactly. No, I think it was a 5-1 up or something, and Ding just came back in the evening session, just completely outplayed me. As you say, that was the start of snooker becoming massive in China.
39.
So important these countries have got one of their own heroes to follow. We had the same thing in the 90s with James Watana in Thailand.
Well, now he's looking good. But you've got to say he has been given a chance here to just find his game.
45.
He was a little rocky early on. Georgiou in his chair there maybe ruined a couple of missed opportunities.
46. If you go back to that first frame when Michael Georgiou was winning the frame with a 76 break, he missed a careless black off his spot. If he'd have gone ahead and cleared the table, made the century, that would have given him such a springboard of confidence going into the second frame. It's amazing. You miss some shots, you think it'll not matter, but it can just take the edge off your focus.
53.
And he's not looked the same player.
$54.
Ding won't be happy with that shot. He's finished a bit straight in the blue, but he shouldn't have a problem. There's a red that he can play on, straight red to the right corner, just stunned for the black. And he's going around to see if the red just above the pink is the preferable one, but I think the one to the right corner is the one he'll play. No, he's playing for the other one. A couple of choices here, can follow through for the
59.
black or stun across for the pink to the same pocket.
$60.
But he's definitely striking the ball more crisply now, Ding Junhui. As you said, David, he's been let back into this match. He's starting to look like the favourite that he was before the start.
Yeah, and he's starting to play like we know he can. This is effectively
67.
frame ball.
$68.
He played one session at the World Championship last season against Anthony McGill. He won it 8-0 and he played so well he got a standing ovation. It was only the first session of the match. Just beautiful snooker. It's what he's capable of doing.
$75. Thank you. 76.
Has to be said though, the table looks like it's playing beautifully.
83.
I have to say it's not the prettiest thing in the world, but
84.
the most important part, the base part, where the players are playing all their snooker, it just looks effortless, the way you can just stroke the cue ball around. It's very reactive, the cloth. Looks a pleasure to play on.
90. $91.
Yeah, it was the slight unknown quantity, the table actually coming in. Obviously it's not the usual make that they're used to, but as you say, we've already seen some terrific snooker today.
$98.
Just left this slightly hampered, looking to make a century. Oh, played it so well.
99.
So Ding Junhui, who struggled a bit, even in the frame he won, has really come alive here. And we've seen here in this frame just what a terrific great builder he is.
106. $107.
Yeah, it's pretty much looked inevitable since he got in what was going to happen. Such
112.
Great control of that cue ball. That's the art of break building.
140.
It's been pretty much
170.
bread and butter stuff from Ding Junhui.
$121.
Well, Georgiou now knows he's got to get involved again in this match, because Ding is producing some terrific snooker here. And suddenly his confidence is sky high.
132.
Big frame coming up for that man. Magnificent total clearance of 139 from Ding Junhui to take the lead. Well, a brilliant break. And he'll look for more of the same in frame 4. He leads Michael Georgiou by 2 frames to 1.
Welcome back to Group 1 action in the Champion of Champions. Ding Junhui against Michael Georgiou. Ding, despite having lost the opening frame, has come back. He's just won the 4th with a break of 85. This is now the 5th. Georgiou at the table. Commentary from David Hendon and Stephen Hendry.
How's your luck? He's got the gap. He deserves to be on one and he's not. That's very, very unfortunate. It really is. He played that shot perfectly.
60.
Sometimes when you play that shot into the pack, if you make contact with the wrong ball in the pack and you don't land on one, it's kind of your fault because you've not played the shot properly. That wasn't the case there. It was played to perfection. Well, this has got to be risky.
Michael Georgiou, 60.
Well, okay, he's not left in an easy opener, but you would think one good pot here and it's a chance for Ding Junhui to close out this match.
One. Eight.
Well, it's similar in a way to the last frame when everything was kind of there for him. When he came to the table, he made 85 to lead 3-1. Well, a little kick there.
9.
Just getting the white cleaned.
Well, he would have been panicking a little bit there, having a kick that he wouldn't, cue ball wouldn't follow through far enough to be in the black, but he is in the black, so no problem. Oh, that's so careless. That is so careless.
Junhui, 9.
He'll be furious going back to his seat. He knows the match should have been over in this break, this visit to the table.
Just didn't seem to focus on it. It's almost like he's saying, well, I am on the black, so everything's fine. But he missed it. Georgiou may well have thought his chance had gone there, but he's back in. Now, this really is a time where he's got to try and put something together. Make Ding think about that black he's missed.
Well, it's almost impossible to see where Michael can go wrong here. Obviously, there's pressure, but in terms of where the reds are situated, all the colours in the open.
Nine.
It will only be the pressure of the situation you would think that would cause a slip up here.
$13. 40.
Yeah, I suppose the key is try not to look for problems, because if you look long enough, you'll find them. In the club every day, you'd win the frame every time here in this sort of position.
$17. $18. $24.
Yeah, it was unexpected, for sure, that miss. No, it never looked in. It was heading to the jaw. And that could well end up being
Michael
his last
Georgiou,
shot.
24.
Yeah, at no point in that break, even though the reds were in perfect position, the way Michael was walking around the table didn't fill you with confidence. He didn't have that air of someone who expected to win the frame. That's the thing you recognise with all the top players. Just even the way they walk around the table, it's with authority.
$8. $9.
Bit of work to do. Obviously that red on the baulk cushion is the one thing that will just be at the back of Ding's mind. Going to make sure he finishes high on the black here
14.
for automatic position on the red. It's on this top cushion.
Thank you. 50.
He'll get position on this red that he's going to play on now. There's every chance he'll play for a baulk colour off this red. Maybe not now, because he's landed too straight. The reason I say play for a baulk colour, it makes getting position on that
22.
final red so much easier.
23.
And you can play this any number of ways. You could stand off one cushion, go take the cue ball in between green and brown. You could play off two cushions, both sides of the table. Top spin. That's the first one. Has he hit it?
So a lifeline
30.
for Georgiou. Just 1 point in the frame. Ding's not got on the red. He'll be coming back to the table. Well, that's not the best shot he's ever played.
Thank you. Ding Junhui, 30.
So Georgiou's gone from thinking it might all be over to suddenly having a chance here.
It's okay, thank you.
Well, he's got another chance. And you've got to say it's a great one now to make this 3-2.
1.
Well, he's overrun it. Wrong side of the blue. Still pressure on these, isn't there? He's not looked comfortable in this frame at all.
6.
No, this looks pretty straight. It's a test of your cue action, this one. And he cued it nicely.
8. $11.
So, brown and blue to extend the match. Ding will be so
50.
annoyed. He missed that black early in the frame. He had another chance after that. It's given Georgiou just a glimmer here.
20.
Still needs to improve, I think, if he's going to come through, but this could have been over several times in this frame. But it's not over. Michael Georgiou has won frame number 5, and Ding is still one away for a place in the group final tonight. And he had his chances in that frame, he knows that. So it's Ding Junhui leading now here in Coventry by 3 frames to 2.
Welcome back to Coventry for the opening exchanges in the Champion of Champions tournament. It's Group 1 action featuring Ding Junhui and Michael Georgiou. Ding leads 3-1, just 1 away from the win. He's at the table as we join commentators David Hendon and Stephen Hendry.
Thank you. 1.
Needs to focus, Ding Junhui. Certainly doesn't want to be into a decider. Another reason Ding will want to get this match over as quick as possible. We mentioned earlier on, he's not entered the Nations Cup event next week, so he certainly won't want to go out in the first round of this event and then face, well, 2 weeks of watching snooker on TV you're not involved in.
5.
Similar last year with Mark Selby, who was defending the UK title and decided to really focus on it, didn't enter the Northern Ireland or Scottish Opens around it, and then lost second round in York. Suddenly had no snooker to play.
10.
Again, not perfectly on this red. Normally we expect no problem, but it
11.
Each time you're not perfectly on the next ball, it just means the positional side of the shot is that a bit more complicated. Played that nicely though.
18.
But this could be the last available red before he needs to think about disturbing something, maybe playing a cannon.
19.
It doesn't look to be a brilliant angle in the black to play into the bunch of 5 reds and pink. And so much so he's had to play for a red to the far left corner. And he's got on it about as nicely as he could.
26. Ding Junhui.
Another chance, gone begging.
26.
And in the end it looks like he's going to scrape over the line rather than do it convincingly at the moment. Certainly Sean Murphy, David, won't be shaking in his boots at the moment watching this.
Yeah, and knowing Sean, he will be watching this.
One thing you would say though is if Ding was to come through this match, he would raise his game against Sean Murphy, knowing he would be facing, you know, the tougher opponent.
Well, he's got him in trouble here. Snookered on just about everything.
Yeah, that was one of the best shots he's played this afternoon, you would have to say. Ding Junhui, excellent safety shot. Is this reaching? Yeah, just. Can Michael find a path for the cue ball to get it in behind the yellow, pretty much where his bridge hand is now? Just too thick contact on the red, but excellent pace in the cue ball. I think Michael Georgiou can get through to red to left corner, but it's fraught with danger. It could be the last shot he plays in this match if he goes for it and misses it. So playing a safety shot, but this isn't easy. And I think he's left a path through. A choice of reds for this left corner, so was that safety shot the last shot that Michael's going to play?
One.
And this champion of champions.
Yeah, he made such a great start in that opening frame. But a little bit of anxiety seemed to settle in when a few errors crept in the next frame. Ding's been a bit in and out. He's played well in some frames. He's made mistakes in others. Main thing, though, is getting through.
8.
And he's got a chance to do that here.
Yeah, it was almost as if Michael seen the chance of a result after winning the first frame. And then the breaks came on. I'm sure the pink would be the better ball here for position, but Ding's playing the black. He's okay.
15.
Well, he's going to judge the contact at the cue ball. Now you see him pointing the cue, the contact the cue ball is going to make on the second red here. This could go wrong.
60.
No, that's well judged. And he's brought everything into the open now. Surely this is the end.
Well, there's an
23.
argument to be made that he's a little lucky to be in the tournament because, of course, there are so many multiple winners. Titles, they've gone off the world ranking list, but
24.
that's not really his problem. He's here. We know what he's capable of doing, how well he's capable of playing. And if he pots this next red, he should be taking on Sean Murphy tonight. And I'm sure he'd be relieved
32.
to get it out of the way because he had great chances to win 4-1. Wants to reserve a bit of energy as well for this evening. Be a different dynamic though playing Sean Murphy. It feels like more of a 50-50 match. Of course, he was a heavy favourite for this one. Well,
Ding
he's
Junhui.
71 in front with
38.
59 on. Georgiou is going to have a look here. One thing about today, Ding's long potting, 38%. That's really low for him. But he has another chance here to finally kill this off. And then it goes.
Yeah, Michael, look back on this match. There's a missed opportunity.
8.
He probably came into the match thinking, if I get, you know, might not get many chances, but make sure I take them. In the end,
9.
he's had plenty chances to win this match.
Yeah, in a way that's the disappointing thing for him. He's not been completely outplayed, actually. He has had a lot of chances. Well, on this November the 5th, let's hope for some fireworks tonight between Sean Murphy and Ding Junhui. Two fine players.
Ding Junhui 14.
They're going to be going head-to-head later on.
Cheers, Michael.
A mixed bag from Ding today. He had that 139 in frame 3. Struggled a little bit to kill it off. But he is through to the group final. He's beaten the shootout champion, Michael Georgiou, by 4 frames to 2.
Confirmation that Ding Junhui, the winner of this match, will face Shaun Murphy in the playoff for Group 1, and that will be the next match in our coverage from the 2018 ManBetX Champion of Champions.